Hey guys, let's go through another limit problem. So we have the limit as x is approaching 2 of x cubed minus 8 over x minus 2. So one thing that I want you guys to see is that when we're seeing these rational functions, a lot of times for these rational function limit problems, a part of what you're doing, so when you can't just plug in this a value, you have to do algebra to get to an answer. But here's the trick to these problems. Since we have to do some algebra to get to the answer, a lot of times what you're going to do when you see a rational function like this, you're usually going to have something that you need to factor. And then a hint to your factoring is going to be that usually part of your factor in the numerator is whatever your denominator is. So whatever you want to factor out of your numerator is usually going to be something that is in your denominator, because what you're trying to do with this factoring is ultimately you're trying to cancel things out. Because once you cancel things out, you start getting some movement in these problems. So if you don't know how to factor your problem, just know that if you look at the denominator of your problem, so you're going to use the denominator of your problem as a hint of how to factor the numerator. And just know that whenever you're factoring, you want to cancel things out. So if you pick a factor where you're not canceling things out, you're probably not picking the correct factor. You're trying to use a factor where things are going to cancel out. If you use a factor that is part of the denominator in the numerator, then you're going to be able to cancel stuff out, and then you're going to get to a place where you can plug in that a value and you'll have a defined function. So looking at this problem, we have the limit as x is approaching 2 of x cubed minus 8. So for this problem, we're going to use an equation, and I sent out a study guide for you guys that was from the final that I did last semester for Calculus 1 students. And so the study guide has a lot of formulas for factoring that are going to be really useful to know. This formula is we're using the formula of factoring a sum or difference of cubes. So this one is factoring a difference of cubes. And the formula that you're going to use, so we have factoring So the formula we have for factoring a difference of cubes, I said distance, oops. Factoring a difference of cubes is that we have a cubed minus b cubed is equal to a minus b times a plus, oh my god, ab plus b squared. And now looking at our numerator, because that's what we're going to use, so looking at our numerator for this, we have x cubed minus 8. If you take 2 and you cube it, so 2 cubed is equal to 8. So we can rewrite this as x cubed minus 2 cubed is equal to, so our a is equal to x and our b is equal to 2. So we're going to have x minus 2 times x plus 2x plus 4. And so this should be the equation that we have in the numerator of our problem. And so now going back over here and rewriting this, we have the limit as x is approaching 2 of x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x plus 2 squared, or 4, divided by x minus 2. And so now looking at this part of the problem, kind of like what I said before, a part of your factor, a part of what you have in the denominator is going to be used to factor the numerator and cancel something out. So using this equation, we got x minus 2 in the numerator, and that cancels out with x minus 2 in the denominator. So now, going back, we have the limit as x is approaching 2 of x squared plus 2x plus 4. And because this is now a polynomial function, the domain is all real numbers, meaning now we can plug any x value into this. Back on this equation, we couldn't plug any x value in, because if we were to plug in 2, we get 0 in the denominator. But now that it looks like this, we can plug in 2. So this is going to be equal to the limit as x is approaching 2 of 2 squared plus 2 times 2 plus 4, which is equal to 4 plus 4 plus 4, which is equal to 12. And that should be your answer for one of the problems that was sent on this practice exam questions.